All right, greetings, everyone. Greetings. I just came back from the wars, from Hungary. Just came back from Hungary. And as usual, on every Thursday, we will learn the HafTorah of this week. This week is one of the 7 weeks of comfort to comfort us after Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av was when the temple was destroyed. So there's 7 weeks between Tisha B'Av and Rosh Hashanah. So each one of these weeks on Shabbat, we read another section of Isaiah, a comforting message to the Jewish people. And it's well known that the enemies of the Jews, they try to use Isaiah, Yeshaya, somehow to twist the words and the meaning and to convolute and to etc. So let's be positive over. Let's be positive. Yeshaya, the prophet Yeshaya, came to comfort the Jews, to tell them, don't worry, Jewish people. God always will love you. We'll see over here. It's going to say the mountains might move. Do you ever see these? There's what is it called? Landslides and mountains. Sometimes they move. Huh? A mountain can move. There's seismic, whatever it is, eruptions, the contraptions, whatever there are. And mountains can move, and hills and rivers, but the love of God for the Jewish people will never stop. So you people that don't like the Jews, get another job, because it's not going to work. You're just wasting your time, and not only that, you'll get punished in hell. It's not up to me. I'm just being nice, just trying to be nice. Here we go. Isaiah the prophet. Now, Isaiah the prophet, as we said so many times before, he prophesied like about 100 years, something like that, before the destruction of the first temple. And these prophecies that he's given, a prophet tells the future, right? So these prophecies that he's making about how God is going to gather the Jewish people, and etc., and that all the world will come to the Jewish people, and that is a prophecy of after the destruction of the second temple. And more exactly, these prophecies are relevant to now, which now is like, what, 2,000 something, 800 years, something like that. After this prophecy was made, now it's starting to come. Now it will be fulfilled. So let's go. Rani Akara, rejoice, you barren one. You lo yalada, you didn't give birth to children. Like a barren woman doesn't have any children, so she's very sad. I mean, the world has become very sick nowadays. If people don't want to have children, but a usual, healthy, normal human being wants to have children, feels very bad if they don't. A person feels very bad if he doesn't have children. Huh? They're trying to educate that you feel bad if you don't kill children, make abortions. Okay, here we go. Worst thing in the world is not to have children. Best thing in the world is the greatest pleasure a person can get is from his children, seeing his children grow, seeing the investment that you put into them. It's called nachas. Okay. Rani Akara, rejoice, barren one, lo yalada, that you didn't give any birth. Pitzchi Rina, open up with song, vitzali, and rejoicing. Lo chala, the one that did not ever go into birth pains. Right? Because Rabim b'nei Shomema, because greater will be the number of your children that were given birth from your barrenness. Of course, we're talking about the Jewish people, that they're barren, they haven't got the temple, and that they're wandering around. You'll have more children, b'nei be'ula, than the children of your, let's try to find a nice word for this, of the inhabitant one. This is Be'ula. Amar Hashem. And what this means, basically, we are now in the exile, what's called the exile of Rome. So basically under the church. So basically, this is the exile of the Jewish people. And, they got so much money and so much success and so much this and that. And the Jewish people are so confused and so this. Says Isaiah is saying, listen, don't worry about it. You people are Jews, you have true identity. They don't have any identity at all. You'll see that your offspring, your results will be greater than theirs. Here we go. We have to make a little time over here. Hirchivi makom olech. Widen the places of your tents, the ureot mishkanotayech, and the, how do you say, the drapings of where you live. Yatu, how do you say, like, open up your tent. Al tishkechi harich. Oh no, what's that? Yatu al tishkechi. Do not, yeah, don't be stingy. Harichi meitorayach. Widen the pegs. You know, like if you have a tent and you want to, it's big enough for 5 people. You want to make it bigger, so you put the pegs out further. And make them strong. Right? In other words, the places of your dwelling, you have to increase because ki yamin the small tifrotzi, because you will spread out, Jewish people, you will spread out, right and left you will spread out, v'zareich goyim yirash, and your offspring will inherit other nations. Va'arim neshamos yeshibu, and the cities that have been desolate will be dwelled in. Al tiri, do not be afraid. Ki lo tivoshi, because there's no reason to be ashamed. V'lo tikalmi, and not be, how do you say, tikalmi, and do not be ashamed, do not be embarrassed. Ki lo tachferi, and do not be, I say, what's a better word? Disgraced, huh? Humiliated, disgraced. Because because you will forget the shame of your youth. And there's the time when the temple was destroyed, and the Jewish people were, trying to ingratiate themselves to all these nations, and everybody clap your hands for me, please, and laugh at my jokes. I'll do anything you want to. You won't have to worry about it. And the shame of your widowhood, you will never remember, will not be remembered anymore. Like they say, in the future, people have to believe that there was an exile. Now we have to believe that there's going to be a future redemption. In the future is going to be the world will be so good and so healthy. We'll have to believe that there were really Jews that denied their Judaism, that there were really Jews that didn't do commandments. We won't be able to believe it, right? And there were really people that hated the Jews. I mean, what? That doesn't make any sense. Says all that will be forgotten. Because your master will make you. Who is your master? Hashem Tzavot Shemo. The God of hosts is his name. The Goalech Kadosh Israel, and the one who will redeem you is the Holy One of Israel, the God of the whole earth is his name. So the God of Israel is simply the creator of the world. That was the whole message of Abraham. There's a creator of the world, and there's laws to the creation that if you do according to these laws of creation, don't kill, don't steal, etc., then there'll be a healthy, happy world. And because that's the God of the Jews, is the God that creates the world. That's why in the 10 Commandments, God starts off, "I am God that took you out of Egypt," and then on the 4th commandment that says, you should keep the Shabbat because I created the heavens and the earth. And for 6 days, God created the heavens and the earth, and he rested. Therefore, you should do it also. So that's your God. Your God. By the way, a non-Jew is not supposed to keep Shabbat, by the way, because it's only for the Jews. Shabbat is only for the Jews. And the God who creates the world, he created for the Jews to fix up. Jews to fix up. If some other person comes along and he has this genius idea about how to fix up the world, communism or socialism or some wonderful religion, or somebody comes from outer space, Superman or something like that, don't listen to him. Don't listen. That's a false prophet. The creator of the universe and that's his whole thing. That's the whole reason why you should believe in him, because he's creating you. He knows what he's doing. It's creating, you should do what you want. Ki kasher azuvav atzuva ruach karach Hashem, just like you were. I'm sorry, one second. Yeah. That's right. Excuse me, 1 minute. Got to get the numbers over here. Here we go. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Just like a woman, a wife that has been abandoned and very depressed, very depressed, but God had called you. That's what you used to be. The ish is no rayach kintimas. It's like a person, a woman of a wife of one's youth. You know, a new couple to get married. So could come that once, you know, the wife, she like burns her husband's, the steak or something on Shabbat, or she says something not nice to her husband's, because she's inexperienced. So she says something not nice to her husband's parents or something, and he gets all angry at her. But it's just unexperienced, you know, they just didn't know any better. So it's just, you might leave her, but it's like a wife of a youth. But Rega Katanav Zavtich said, God, in just for a very short time, I have left you. A short time is 2,000 years. But nevertheless, with great mercy, I will gather all of you Jewish people together. Good. Got my pointer. B'shetzef ketzef, with a little bit of, how do you say, anger. He started panai. I hid my face from you, Rega, just for a moment. Ubechesed olam, with eternal life, with eternal kindness. Racham omar golech, but I will redeem you all with a tremendous kindness. Don't worry about it. I will show you mercy and redeem you. Be pretty good. I mean, if this whole exile of like 2,000 years with all the expulsions and all the suffering at the hands of the church and the hands of all these weirdos, especially in Europe, all these countries, if that's just called a little bit, so God says infinitely more good I'm going to give to you. So you can imagine what the good is going to be, right? If all that suffering is just like a little bit, you can imagine how good the good is going to be. Kimei Noah, just like remember the waters of Noah? God got mad at the whole world, destroyed the world. We said, Asher Nishbati me'ever Yom Noach. God said, I will never make the waters of Noah again on the earth, because I have also I have sworn that I will not even get a little bit angry at you anymore and punish you, God said. Obviously, he's talking about now, because, says God, the mountains, Aharim Yamushu, mountains will move. Agavos Tamutano, and the high places might crumble. Bechestem itcha, and my kindness from you, Lo Yamush, will never move. Ubrit Shalom, and my covenant of peace, Lo Tamut, will never, how do you say, stir. Omar Merachamech, says the one who loves you, God. So he's talking about the Jewish people. Obviously, the Jewish people will remain the Jewish. I didn't know who was a Jew. Who's a Jewish person? A Jewish person is according to the Torah. That's the Jewish people. And that's what it means. God said, I'm going to gather the Jews together. The Jews are all scattered around. God will give them, who's a Jew? A person who gets converted according to the Torah, the Torah law, or a person who has a Jewish mother. Can't just be anybody who wants to. Okay. Ania Sarah, the poor one, afflicted, storm tossed. He said, "No, that you cannot be comforted." Right? This is like talking. The Rebbe said a lot of times. I told you this before. The Rebbe wrote to someone. He wrote to him. A person wrote to the Rebbe and said, "It's after the Holocaust. I can't be comforted. Where is God? How can we believe in God?" So the Rebbe said, "Listen, there's no real answer to this. There's no answer to this. I can only tell you that the Jewish people, this is not the first tragedy that has occurred to the Jewish people. The Jewish people, since their inception, have had tragedies. In fact, they were born in tragedy. They were born in slavery. And in some ways, the destruction of the first temple and the second temple were worse. Each one was worse than the Holocaust because, first of all, the Holocaust didn't affect all the Jews. There's like all the Jews that were in America and Canada and those places, they could care less. They saved themselves, which is not the case. The destruction of the first and the second temples, every Jew felt it. And when they're all living in or near Israel, the first temple, they were all living in Israel. And not only that, it could be that a greater percentage of the Jewish people were killed in the first and the second temples. It's not trying to explain anything. It's just saying that the Jewish people have power in their soul. Their identity is stronger than any misfortune there can possibly be. Who wants the misfortune? Nevertheless, that's... And in fact, that's the reason. Remember, we learned a sikh about that. That's the reason why there is misfortune in the world. And we pray that there shouldn't be, but when there is, and we see that there is in order to test us, we're to bring out from us what is our true identity. Who are we really? Who are we really? Are we really just individuals, or Frenchmen or Americans or something? Or are we Jews? What really, talks to us? God or the world? That's the creator or the creation. And so that's what this whole terrible tests are for. If it was up to me, I wouldn't make it. But on the other hand, I wouldn't make the whole world. Who needs it? Too much. Okay, next. Ania Sora. You afflicted, storm tossed, you can't be comforted. I will, there's different interpretations with this, but anyway, I will pave with these special stones your floors, and I will set down your foundation with sapphires. Huh? Probably architects will tell you the sapphires are not as good as cement, but obviously this is talking about a whole different type of a foundation. I will put a kadkod shimshotayech. I will put some sort of rubies or something for your windows. V'sharayech la'avnei ektach, and your gates will be with some. Here he translates it carbuncle stones. Huh? You know what that is, a carbuncle stone? I don't know what it is, but anyway, this, a carbuncle stone. You'll see. Mashiach will come and you'll see what is a carbuncle stone. Huh? That's at least what they translated it. Another good reason that we have to have Mashiach right now, to find out what is a carbuncle stone. And all of your boundaries will be of precious stones. Now, interestingly enough, it says in some places that all the precious stones are pretty weird, huh? Precious stone, people dig in the ground and they find a rock. Ooh, this rock is worth $10 million. You found it. This is a ruby, this is a sapphire, this is an emerald, this is a diamond, this is who knows what. And there it is. You found this. That's a stone. This makes no sense. It's just a regular stone. It's a rock. They got rocks laying all over the place. Rocks. No, this is a special stone. This is a good stone. This is the smartest people in the world. The biggest businessman. They say, where did you get that stone from, man? Let me look at that. It puts the thing in it. This thing is worth bare minimum $50 million. If it's cut properly, you can even get $1 billion. Who knows? I don't. What's the big thing? So it says that really each stone has a certain star that corresponds to it. Now, do you have any idea how many stars there are? They just have, somebody told me about this the other day. They have this thing called the Webb telescope. I wanted to look it up, and I didn't. I just got back from Hungary, so I'm a little bit disoriented. A Webb telescope can look at 20,000 leagues into the sky. I don't know what it is. And further than, further you could possibly believe faster than a speeding bullet. This thing goes into the realms of the stratospheres, the unospheres that no one had ever dreamed of. And what are out there? Stars, and more stars, and Vita, another star with a galaxy, with a nebulae, and a big nebulae, and a white nebulae, a brown nebulae, a green nebulae, and a giant nebulae, and a super giant nebulae. And that's what are in these things? Stars. And each star corresponds to a certain gem. That's what it says. In any case, for some reason, that's why these precious stones are worth so much, because somehow or other they have this spiritual power. I don't know, do you really believe that? But anyway, that's what it is. The fact is they are worth a fortune. It's not really that understandable. So it says all these stones and all these stars and all the things that are going to be under your feet in the future, those are just part of the creation. People won't even care about them. They'll only care about the creator. I mean, if you think about it for 1 second, it makes sense, because all these stars and precious stones, they're not worth anything compared to life. Life is, and everybody has life. Life is the most precious gift. Now they're trying to, like we spoke about someone before, it's just really shocking. But now there's all these like pro-death movements. They call it pro-choice. It's not pro-choice, it's just pro-death. And there's a total devaluation of life, of family, of marriage, of values. Really quite shaky, quite amazing. So somebody told me, you got to look at this thing. I mean, anyway, it's a new type of music. I don't want to even say what it is, but it just glorifies the most disgusting things and murder, and it's just, and these people are talented. They're talented. They make up these rhymes and these words, and then they get all excited when everybody's shooting each other. And then these guys get shot themselves. They shoot each other. They kill each other. It's like the greatest thing in the world to get killed. Okay. In any case, the future that's waiting for us is one of life and one of happiness. All of your children will be learning from God, learning the Torah, and there'll be tremendous peace for all of your children. It's not bad. But tzedakah tukanani, in charity, and justice, you will be established. Right. Establish yourself with righteousness. You will be far away from any sort of, injustice, oppression, impression. You don't have to be afraid. What's it? Here it goes. Mechita means fear. From fear, nothing that fears you. Chitat means to be afraid. Won't come close to you. Imagine living a life you don't have to be afraid of anything. We have the last 4 or 5 years, the whole thing is fear. Fear everywhere you look is fear. You got to be afraid of Donald Trump. You got to be afraid of the weather. You have to be afraid of the heat. You have to be afraid of the germs. You have to be afraid of the air. You have to be afraid of your friends, your people. You don't know who is it. Don't be afraid. Don't smile. Don't laugh. Don't open your mouth. Like, be afraid. You have this type of disease, this type of corona. You got to get a shot. You don't get a shot, you got to be afraid. Everybody has to be afraid. The best thing in the world is to be afraid. You're just afraid and you're miserable. I'm so happy. I'm miserable all the time because I'm afraid. All the world is upside down. Says the Rebbe, Isaiah the prophet, the worst thing in the world is to be afraid. The worst thing is to be afraid. Be afraid of God. Be afraid to separate yourself from life. That to be afraid. Kigor Yagor Efes Meoti, because there's nothing to be afraid of. 1 second. Yeah. One minute. This is just 1 second. Excuse me. That's right. Okay. Gur Yagor Efes Meoti Kigar Itcha Alayach Yipol, because they will gather together against you. But it is not with my consent. Kigar Itcha Hein Yagor Igor Efes They will gather together, but it's not from me. Mi garitoch alayach yipol, because anyone who tries gor also means to make you afraid. Yagorti. Because who will make you afraid, he will try to make you afraid, will fall down. Will fall down. God promises. Why? Hein anochi barati cheresh nofach ba'esh pacham. I created a like a smithy that one who works with iron. he blows wind on the fire, and he creates a vessel to work with. And I also created a destroyer who can destroy things. Right? I created people who create things and people who destroy things. But I want you to know something, Jews. Any sort of weapons of war, or anything which is fashioned of war against you, lo yatzliach, won't succeed. V'kol loshen takum itach, and anyone that speaks against you, huh? That's right. Anything that speaks against you, and the mishpat tarshi will be judged negatively. You'll be condemned. Condemned. Zot nachalat avdi. This is what's going to happen. This is the portion of my servants, Hashem, avdi, of the servants of God, avdi Hashem. This is the person of the tzidkasam me'iti and their justice, righteousness will be established by me. So God's saying, Jews, you're going to have a lot of enemies. It's not going to work. It's just also like if you look oversee the blessing that God gave to Abraham after he took his son Yitzchak to sacrifice. It says, "V'yirshu zarecha kol sharoevov," that your offspring will inherit all of the gates of their enemies. So in one way, the more enemies we have, the better, because we're going to inherit all of the properties and the nations and etc. in the land of our enemies. Don't be an enemy of the Jew, and you'll be okay. Not. Hi, called someone. Anyone who is thirsty, come to water. I was talking to the Jews. Anyone who's thirsty, come to the water. Come to water. If you don't have any money, you can come and you can, I just say, eat and feed. Right? Shibru means to buy and eat. Shibru below kesef. You can buy without food, or below mechir without any wine or milk, without any price. You can get wine and milk. Here he's talking about the Torah. The Torah is sometimes called bread, and the Torah is sometimes called wine. Sometimes the Torah is sometimes called milk. Also, it's fat, whatever. The land of it. And so what's he saying is now he's starting to talk about the days of the Mashiach. The whole thing of the Mashiach is that he's going to have Torah. The whole essence of Mashiach is the Torah. Mashiach is going to teach the whole world the Torah. God gave the Torah to the Jews, not just as, to make a nice story, that the Jews should have this glorious history. God gave the Torah to the whole world. The Torah is the blue book, the blueprint of all the creation. Huh? And the blueprint of all creation. There's no other nation, religion, philosophy, group, whatever you want to call it, cult, that says that God personally came to them. We had 3 million eyewitnesses. And the creator of the universe, everybody knew they felt it was the creator of the universe. Their souls were jumping out of their bodies, and told them what he wants from the world. Told them what he wants from the world, right? Most of these things are ideas that Abraham already got on his own. But until they were given into the world, it wasn't actually imbued in the bones and in the muscles and in the psyche and etc. of all the Jews. So the Torah is called water. It's satisfied. You can get it for free. You're hungry, come, you can get it for free without any price. You get wine as the secrets of the Torah. Chalav is to be close, like a baby nurses from his mother's breast. You get close. Lama teshaklu kesef. Why are you spending your money below lechem, without bread. What are you going learning all these bizarre other religions? And I mean, you can do whatever you want to. And these philosophies and these psychologies and psychiatrists, these systems and everything. And you're working without, you're never going to be satisfied. Shema shamu alai, listen to me, eat good, and eat from learn from the Torah, and you will satisfy your souls. How do you know this is talking about the Torah? Because the Jewish commentaries, they say so. Jewish commentaries, they say so. But that's a very big problem. I mean, we're now in the exile. It's called the exile of Edom. So one of the big tricks these people use is they twist the Torah around, they misinterpret the Torah, and they go according to this really bizarre, the fact of the matter is they don't interpret the Torah. They have their own ideas in their mind, and then they're not learning the Torah. They're teaching the Torah. They teach the Torah what to say. They have their own ideas, what they want, the church and these missionaries and these people. They have their own ideas. And then they try to stick them somehow or other and to push them and twist them around so that the words of the Torah somehow or other in some bizarre way fit. And the people are innocent people. They really want to serve God. And these leaders are terrible. They're just evil people, really. The fact of the matter is evil. So that's what Isaiah is saying. Don't go after all these stupid ideas. It's not going to satisfy you. You have the Torah. The Torah is given by God. You have the rabbis that really believe the Torah is given by God. And tilt your ears and come to me. Listen and enliven your soul. V'achar tem lochem brit olam, and I will make for you a covenant forever. One minute. That's right. I will make an eternal Chesdei David and Ne'amanim, the kindness of David and Ne'amanim. Now, King David, he is the Maimonides says he was the first Mashiach, and we Jews are waiting for the second Mashiach. That's Mashiach ben David, and he lists over there what the criteria are. Anybody who wants to know what they are, you can write. It's right in the end of the book. You want to type in Google Laws of Kings, chapter 11. Laws of Kings, chapter 11. There he has all the laws about Mashiach. But the main thing is Mashiach is going to be a direct descendant from King David. Mashiach will be a direct descendant from King David. So according to some opinions, it can even be from his mother. They say that Yehuda Nasi was from the mother. But it has to be a direct descendant from the Rambam. I think he says, I have to look in again. Anyway, that's the fact. The fact that could be from the mother. I have made you Jews a testimony to the people. A leader and a commander, a connector to the people. To the people. One minute. Yes. Okay, one more. Here we go. By the way, what are we reading this? This is the HafTorah for this week. We're going to hear on this week's Torah, after the Torah reading, this is what we read. Hein goy lo teda tikra. Behold, a nation that you don't even know, that you've never known, will be summoned. Elecha to you. Yerutzu, they will run. Yeah. Laman Hashem, for the sake of God, the Kodesh Yisrael, the Holy One of Israel, Ki Pa'arech, who has glorified you. So in other words, what is Isaiah saying? It's going to be really good, much better than we could possibly imagine. Incredibly good is waiting for the Jewish people. And as I said before, this prophecy is referring to now. It's referring to now, even though he prophesied in the middle of the first temple, before any destructions or whatever. Nevertheless, this is going to happen, and it's happening now with Mashiach now. And that's the idea of the Rebbe. The Rebbe, Lubavitcher Rebbe, is trying to wake up all the Jewish people and through that to wake up all the non-Jews, or maybe the other way around. Maybe we'll wake up all the non-Jews, and then they'll wake up. I mean, the Jews don't listen to their leaders; they listen to the non-Jews. So if the non-Jews come to the 7 Noahide commandments, then maybe that's through the side door, the Jews will will come to their senses. Have a good day with Mashiach. Tomorrow we will learn. Yes, positive. We will learn 8:15 in the morning. We'll try to finish Davar Malchut. Thank you very much. We'll see you with Mashiach now.